Everyone wants a simple way to answer the same question. How long will it take to double my money? There is an easy mental shortcut that investors use all the time, and you can use it in your head while you are standing in line. It is called the Rule of 72. You take the number 72 and divide it by your annual rate of return, and the answer is the rough number of years it takes for your money to double. If you expect 8%, 72 divided by 8 is about 9 years. If you earn 10%, it is a little over 7 years. If you manage 12%, it is about 6 years. No spreadsheets, no fancy apps, just a fast gut check that turns abstract percentages into a timeline you can feel. Now make it real. Imagine you invest $10,000 and you average 8%. About 9 years later, it doubles to 20,000. Another 9 years and it becomes 40,000. Then 80,000. Then 160,000. 4 clean doubles in roughly 36 years. Change the rate and you change your life. If you could average 12% over the same 36 years, you do about 6 doubles. 10,000 becomes 20, then 40, then 80, then 160, then 320, then 640,000. Same person, same starting number, same calendar, different outcome because the compounding speed changed. The Rule of 72 also shows you why bad debt is a financial house fire. Compounding does not care whether it is working for you or against you. A credit card charging 24% will double what you owe in roughly 3 years. An installment loan at 18% will double in about 4 years. When you see those timelines clearly, you stop treating high-interest debt as an annoyance and start treating it as an emergency. Pay the fastest-growing flames first. The rule is just as useful for spotting hidden drags on your future. Fees slow compounding the way headwinds slow a plane. If your investments return 8% before fees, but you pay 1.5% in all-in costs, your real return is closer to 6.5%. 72 divided by 8 suggested roughly 9 years to double. 72 divided by 6.5 is roughly 11 years. 2 extra years per double may not sound like much, but across multiple doubles, it is the difference between feeling comfortably ahead and wondering why your balance never seems to break away. The same thinking helps you respect inflation. If inflation runs at 3% and your portfolio earns 7% before taxes, your real growth is about 4%. 72 divided by 4 is about 18 years per real double. That is why beating fees and avoiding expensive, underperforming products matters so much. Every fraction you save shortens the path to the next double. With a little practice, you can build a mental map you carry everywhere. 6% means about 12 years per double. 8% means about 9 years. 10% means a bit over 7 years. 12% means 6 years. 18% on debt means 4 painful years. 24% means 3. You do not need exact precision. You need fast clarity that turns choices into timelines. Use the rule to make better decisions in the moment. When someone pitches an investment, you can ask yourself how long their promised return would take to double and whether that timeline matches your goals and your risk. When you look at debts, you can line them up by their doubling speed and attack the fastest first. When you consider a fund with higher fees, you can feel the extra years it adds to each double and decide if the convenience is worth slowing down the entire journey. When your boss offers a raise, you can decide to send half of that raise to your investments on day one, because you know every extra point of return and every extra dollar of contribution brings the next double closer. There are 3 practical levers to make doubling more frequent without gambling. First, remove negative compounding by destroying high-interest debt. Every dollar you stop from doubling against you is a dollar that can start doubling for you. Second, lower frictions like fees and taxes where you can. Favor broad, low-cost funds in tax-advantaged accounts when they are available to you, because shaving a point off costs can pull every milestone toward you by years. Third, raise the amount that is actually compounding by automating contributions and increasing them whenever your income rises. You do not need to chase exotic returns if you steadily add fuel to the fire you already control. There is also a mindset shift that the Rule of 72 makes hard to ignore. Small differences matter a lot over long stretches. A portfolio that returns 8% does not feel dramatically different from one that returns 10, but one doubles in about 9 years and the other in a bit over 7. Over a few decades, that gap becomes an entirely different life. This is why consistency beats excitement. A plain, low-cost approach that compounds relentlessly often outperforms the hot idea that comes and goes. It is also why impulse decisions are so expensive. When you yank money out during a downturn and miss a rebound, you are not losing a quarter or a year. You are potentially giving up an entire future double. None of this means you should expect perfect, clockwork growth. Markets are bumpy, outcomes vary, taxes exist, and nothing about future returns is guaranteed. The rule of 72 is an estimate, not a promise. Treat it like a compass, not a contract. Its value is in helping you quickly understand the rough shape of the road ahead so you can choose wisely today. If you want a simple routine that puts the rule to work, try this. List your debts from the highest rate to the lowest and focus all extra dollars on the one that would double the fastest if you let it sit. Automate a contribution to a broad, low-cost investment the day your paycheck lands so you never rely on willpower. Each time your income increases, raise that automatic contribution before you let your lifestyle grow. Review the fees on anything you own and ask whether each product earns its keep, because any cost you trim is steam you win back. Finally, write down the return you are aiming for, not as a fantasy, but as a reminder of your expected doubling pace. When you can say out loud that your goal implies about one double every 9 years or every 7 years, it becomes much easier to stay patient through the boring middle. The rule of 72 turns money into time. It lets you see that an extra point of return is not just a nicer number in a report. It is months or years of your journey to the next milestone. It lets you feel why eliminating a 24% debt is an urgent victory, not a chore to get to later. It helps you respect how fees and inflation quietly stretch the road. And most of all, it keeps you focused on the only things you can truly control. Kill expensive debt. Cut needless costs. Pay yourself first. Increase contributions as your income grows. Then, let time do what time does. You do not need luck to double your money. You need a process that compounds and the discipline to protect it. Learn the rule. Use it often. And whenever you feel tempted to chase something flashy, ask a simple question. How many years does this add or subtract from my next double? The answer will usually point you in the right direction.